How to Con a Con is generally a really good Aurora Teagarden mystery, but there were times when it felt like it was really slow and not going anywhere, but then something dramatic would happen, and then it would slow down again, and then something dramatic would happen. And that's unusual. Usually, an Aurora Teagarden mystery has a pretty steady, slightly dramatic narrative, but this one is much more up and down than any of the others. It's quite a roller coaster. This was released in 2021. It's directed by Tony Dean Smith and stars, of course, Candace Bure as Aurora Teagarden. And this one involves a murder and some mystery loan payments on a house. It seems like there have been payments made on this house and nobody's quite sure where these payments are coming from. And I don't want to say too much more than that. That's basically all we learn to begin with. And then it does slow down. And then something quite dramatic happens. And then it slows down again and something else happens. And I don't want to tell you what those something else moments are because I don't want to give away the great bits. But I feel like the bits in between are slow for two reasons. One is that we just, for a long time, we don't get any new leads. And then we do, and things are good again, then it slows down. But also, a lot of this is, more than I'd like, is about, and this is a spoiler if you haven't seen the previous films, so this will spoil the previous films, but a lot of the other stuff is about the wedding and the upcoming wedding. And while I don't mind a little bit of that, and I'm really happy that Aurora and Nick are really happy together, I don't need that constantly. I'm much more interested in the mystery. I don't care about what flavour of cake they're going to choose. So I feel like they could have done a lot less of that and maybe brought in some more suspense, maybe another suspect, just something to make it a little bit more gripping at a much more steadier rate. But as I said, still generally a good film, and personal highlights are two characters in particular who I thought were fantastic. So this might, well, one's certainly going to be a spoiler, the other one maybe not so much, but I'll just say spoilers from now. I'm still not going to reveal whodunit, as it were. I'm not going to give that information away, but my personal highlights might spoil it a bit, and actually one of them is a very dramatic moment that I didn't see coming, so this is a spoiler as well. And that dramatic moment is when Aida was attacked. Didn't see it coming, very suspenseful, almost jump scary. And we don't get that many jump scares in Aurora Teagarden, but we do get a couple every now and then. And whenever we do, they're usually pretty brilliant. And that one certainly was. The two characters I particularly loved in this. The first is Phillip. I feel like he's really coming into his own now, and he's getting a more prominent role. I guess now that the character is getting older, he's no longer a young student or anything. He's definitely becoming an integral part to a lot of the narratives, which I really like because I think he's a really great character. The other one is Lillian, both in terms of the character's performance during that pivotal scene in the library, and also afterwards when she had a smile of pride on her face because she was involved and she felt proud of what she'd done and what she'd gone through and survived, I guess. And it was really nice that she was kind of willing to be part of it instead of telling Aurora to be quiet and leave the library. So loved her in this. I've always liked her as a character, but it's nice to see her, or this different side to her. How to Con a Con is definitely a good film. It's an unpredictable film. We have a couple of really dramatic moments that I did genuinely enjoy. It is a little slow at times. There were times when I was genuinely thinking, this is not a very good film. And then something would happen and I'd completely change my opinion and we'd start going down again and then it would pick back up pretty dramatically, very quickly. So in general, it's much more of a roller coaster in terms of enjoyment than the average Aurora Teagarden. But I liked it. It's not a bad film. Definitely not my favourite, but still a pretty decent watch.